Hey you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Adeline Welch and I'm so thrilled to show you this video. I am finally showing you how I put on my false lashes, specifically drugstore lashes with a clear band. I have very specific steps that I do every single time that I apply them to make them look really natural and really blended in with my own natural lashes. And then I added a few extra little tips like how to conceal the band if you don't like the look of it, and stuff like that, how to really totally blend things in. So if you are interested in having a really clear, really crisp visual and step-by-step instructions of how to get this kind of look, then definitely keep watching, and please give me a thumbs up if you found this as useful as I hope it will be. And if you like me and you like being here, please do subscribe, and I hope to see you in my next video. And so yeah, let's get started. Okay guys, let's launch straight into this, and we are going to pick up our drugstore lashes today. You can get at Walgreens, Target, different places like that. Sometimes I get mine on Amazon, just depending on who has the best deal at the time and if I want to stock up. The brand I'm using today is Ardell, and these are the Wispies. This is what they look like. They have a clear band and they're pretty natural, and they taper on the outer corners, and then the fullest part of them is at the center here. And they do this crisscross look, which makes them a little bit more natural because lashes aren't typically so like perfect and uniform. Come on. There we go, and we're back. So that's also one of the reasons why I like these. They are on the long side, but this shape suits a lot of people. So let's use these today. So the first step is to remove them carefully from the packaging. So I'm just gonna hold this up here for you to see. What I do is I use my finger and I just press on the eyelash here, and I just drag down the band so that I don't peel it off like this, because I've ruined ones like that before doing that. Once I have them safely removed from their packaging, I am actually going to remove the adhesive that they have come with, because this is not what you want on your eyes. It's going to be extra bulk. I pinch them like that, and then I just gently pinch the glue off. And I just rub it off. So by pinching the lashes, I make sure that when I'm pulling that glue up and away, I am not pulling on the actual hairs. So I know it's not in focus the whole time, but surely you kind of see what I'm doing here. Then they should look clean like this. And they are ready to be tweaked. Now the next thing that I like to do, and I think that every single human being that wears false lashes needs to do this, you need to measure the eyelash. I'm gonna pick up a pair of tweezers that I feel comfortable with, that I'm used to. I am going to pinch that lash and make sure it's secure. I'm gonna pick up the one that is for the correct eye. So the way you can know that is that I know that this one is for my left eye because it's tapered the most on the inner corner. The shortest end should always be the inner corner. That is how your lashes naturally go, and that's how you want falsies to be as well. Now pick up a mirror, pick up my lashes, and I'm going to place the center in the center of my eye, and I'm gonna hold those there. You're gonna want to blink because your eye is telling you, there's something on my eye. All right, so we are nice and close. Hopefully you'll be able to see really well. If the inner corner of the false lash is going downwards too far, that is always a sure way to make it look unnatural and it's very obvious that you're wearing false lashes. So what I recommend is you bring that upwards away. So you want your natural lashes to be poking out further than the false lashes are. And once you have that lined up, then you want to trim the outer corner. And the same principle, you want the outer corner to not be too far down either. That is another telltale sign that you're wearing false lashes. So you never want them to be too long in the inner corner and too far out on the outer corner. Also, if it's too far out in the outer corner, it kind of gives a drooping illusion of the eye, and people generally don't want that. So I am going to stop the eyelash about here. So I don't want the eyelash to go further and past my natural lashes. So I'm going to cut them about here, which tells me I want to cut about this much off. If you're ever not sure if the measuring is a little tricky for you, or if it's your first time, cut a little less than what you think, and then you can always go in for a second time, which honestly I usually do that for a fresh pair. I usually cut it twice so that I don't overcut, and then I'm kind of like, eh. I also take cosmetic scissors. I don't use normal household scissors. You want something that is really, really skinny and sharp. See how skinny those are? Next to the lashes, you can see they're really small. I got these for a few bucks at Target. So I'm going to grab those, hold up that lash, and trim it right there. Then you can see I trimmed it right up to that knot. I'm not leaving any excess because that will really irritate your eye. So coming in to measure for a second time, that looks a lot better already. I'm going to scoot that downward this way, but I can already see that I have some space here and that it's not too long anymore. Now we are going to glue these bad boys down, and I promise it is not as hard as you might think, and I really hope that the way I show you will be helpful and maybe even aha. I like to just pinch these between my fingers and hold them in place. I'm going to grab my favorite eyelash glue. It's called House of Lashes. This glue is my favorite because it's really strong holding. I never worry about my inner and outer corners coming up or popping off, which is like, no one wants to deal with that. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to make sure I don't have too much glue on there. So just a little bit. And then holding my eyelash, I am just going to paint on a little bit, but make sure that it coats the whole band. Sometimes I will use up here on the stick. I'm going to go in for just a tiny bit more because it's a fresh tube, so not too much comes out, which is good. And I try to do this fairly quickly so that the glue dries as evenly as possible. One of the other main tips I can give to you is don't put the lash on when the glue is freshly applied and really completely wet. With this glue, one thing that's helpful is that it starts to go translucent when it is just tacky and not fresh, and that is when it is the easiest to apply an eyelash. And I'm telling you, that is one of the main keys to having an easier time with eyelashes. So before this gets too dry, I'm going to grab my tweezers and I am going to pinch the center again. And I'm going to put my mirror in front of me. I'm going to lift my chin, tilt my chin up, and put my head back. And I am going to place that eyelash practically on top of my eyelashes just so that they're really, really hugging the lash line. I'm anchoring it in the center and anchoring the outer corner and then the inner corner, or vice versa. Sometimes it's better to do the inner corner. I'm just anchoring them. I feel it grab. I feel the tackiness of the glue. And that looks pretty good. You can see I'm really as close as I can be. It looks a little heavy on the outer corner, so I'm going to try and bring it in a little bit. I'm pulling the inner corner here, so it kind of drags the whole thing a little bit. And I pinch the lash and I just tuck it in. I tilt my head back and I just make sure I can feel the band of the lash like sticking to everything. You should be able to feel it stick. Like I can feel it everywhere I'm pressing. Okay, so that is the lash on, and I can tell that I talked a little too long and the glue got a little bit dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look down and just go like this and push the lash down and see if there's any part of the band that, see there? See, it's not fully glued. So all I need to do is just lift that a little bit. Just lift that a little bit. So that's the only part. Everything else is good. I'm going to grab my glue and make sure there's very little on here. I'm going to add just a little bit of glue. And I'm going to give that just a second. There's not as much, so I won't wait as long. And then I'm pressing down again into the roots of my lashes. So then I check one more time. And now it looks like it is locked in. So that eyelash should not move at all until I gently peel it off at the end of the night before I go to bed. Okay, so we have our lashes on, but I never ever leave these kinds of lashes just bare like this. I always add a bunch of mascara to these. I find that for these ones, I put them in place first, then I put the mascara, and this both blends my natural lashes into the falsies, and it also kind of helps them to kind of go upwards because they're really light. They're not a dense lash at all, so they can tend to droop if you don't put mascara, and like that just holds them up in place as well. So I just roll it in just at the roots here. I'll start to apply just a little bit of the mascara. And already I can see it's getting a little darker and it's starting to lift the falsies. And then what I actually love to do is I take the tip of the wand and carefully I place the roots of my natural lashes up into the falsies. This is one of my favorite tricks for putting on these kinds of lashes. And what I mean by these kinds of lashes is that there's a clear band. They're really wispy and thin. They're not dense. They're not thick and voluminous at the lash line here. So I am creating that for myself. By using the tip of mascara wand, I can control the mascara and make sure the majority goes to just the roots and not everywhere else. Although I accidentally got it a little too high, but it doesn't look bad. You can see what a huge difference that makes. To me, it's just night and day. Okay, so these two are done. So you could just call this good. You don't have to add eyeliner or anything else, but I'll show you a quick and soft way to add a little bit of definition here if you don't like the look of being able to see a little bit of that clear band. So the last two little tips I'm going to show you are tightlining your upper waterline here, this fleshy bit, to close off any of the skin colored waterline that is poking through that cannot be very cute. I'm going to use my favorite pencil for that. This was just a sample in something else, but ever since I tried it on my waterline a few videos back, I will link that so you can actually see my first reaction if you want to. It's like this little eye here, I'll link it there for you. I'm using this pencil from Makeup Forever. It's the Aqua XL. These are waterproof and I just love it for the upper waterline. And it's gonna help give the illusion of more thickness at the root of the lash there, and it just looks a lot better. So I take the pencil, I definitely always tilt my head back for this. I open my eye nice and wide and carefully just start placing that eyeliner on my waterline. I just kind of wiggle it on there because this stuff grips really nicely. So I did my outer corner, and when I want to do this half, I kind of tilt this way so that the pencil always stays away from your iris. That's how you kind of get up in there. So that is tightlining your upper waterline, and that's the difference of the effect you can get. I'm going to show you my last and final tip to conceal that lash band a little bit better when you have an invisible lash band like this and you just don't really like the look when you look down. I'm going to show you a quick way to conceal that without worrying about wing liner, liquid liner, anything like that. What I do is I take an eyeshadow, a dark eyeshadow, like a black or a dark brown, something like that. So I'm going to use this black one because it's not super opaque. This is a great palette, by the way. If you're starting out with makeup, you're not sure what to get for eyeshadows, and you want just a little bit of everything that is just like those really usable shades, I love this palette. The way that I make this really easy is I take an angled brush like this, and then I just can't see what I'm doing. I press the brush in like that, and then I tap off the excess just to make sure it doesn't fall down on my face. I pick up my mirror, I tilt my head back, and I just place a little soft line of eyeshadow along my lash line, and that is all I do. and I even kind of push it onto the lash band a little bit. It can also help to conceal any of the gaps you might have. Like I tend to get gaps here because my eyelashes are so sparse, as well as covering some glue that might be a little bit unsightly. And then I just kind of go out like this with mine, just because that suits my eye shape. And go on top of the band. That is the difference with adding just a little bit of shadow to create a soft line. And I'm telling you, it is the fastest and easiest way to create a line. And now it conceals that band really well. See? Looks pretty dang good. So let's go ahead and put some mascara on the bottom lashes. I never ever leave those bare when I'm wearing falsies on the top lashes. So let's do that. All right, we did it. We did it. I really hope that you were able to achieve the look you were going for. If this was helpful, please do leave me a thumbs up so that I can know, and I will try to do more of these types of videos where it's just like this basic stuff that sometimes we just fly over in other makeup tutorials that are like more colorful and bright and focus on different areas of makeup. So yeah, if you do like what I'm doing here, please do subscribe to my channel. It helps me to find more people like you, and I would really love that so much. So take care, you guys, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.